So the main request actually behind of this guide will deal with the data sets and with the data table, the adapters, in order to populate controls. The controls we are talking here, they are grid views. We are going to see list controls, which are the grid views in particular. Task number one is asking us to design a such interface, and we are required to populate two controls, which are two grid views with data from a background source, which is a database. So for the purpose of this, practice only, I'm gonna create this interface. Yes, design this interface. See notes. We are using the forms view here. We are not using a web solution. We are using a forms view. So this is new for us. This is the first time we are going to work on this, but we'll use the same technology. It's the C#. So we will use the same technology, which is the C#. Let's start by designing this interface. Later on, I'm gonna create a database that has two tables. One will display it in this grid view, and another one will display it in this second grid view. So first of all, let's get started with designing this interface. To do so, I'm going to start a new Visual Studio. Okay, file, new project here. Let me repeat, file, new project, not website, it's project, to obey to the request. How I new? It is from the interface. See here we have form here. We do not have web page. It's form. It's form.cs, form.c#. So form. So that's file, new project. Okay, from the project here, I'm going to refer to the C#, not Visual Basic. Be sure here that you choose C# specifically, and the C# I'm going to choose Windows Desktop. From here we get the options. We are going to choose Forms application, Windows Forms application. So I repeat quickly, briefly, file, new project, C#. You search the C#, you'll maybe find it something like that, or you may have a different view, but you have to search for the C#. Where is it? You expand it, and in here you search for the Windows Desktop. Here it is. You select it. You just click it once, and from the list that appears here, choose Windows Forms application. We are going to give the name here let's say data adapters, data tables. I'm going to use data tables T capital. I'll leave the same location, nothing to change, and let me confirm. Great. So manually, we get the first view immediately here, an access window, and we have already made a form ready for us, which is this form here in the Solution Explorer. If you do not have this Solution Explorer visible to you, so you refer to the View menu, and you'll find it somewhere here, which is here in my front. Immediately you get it here. So I can close this interface form, and I can open it again from here. Double click. Yes, here it is. So immediately I'm gonna fit it to my view. I'm going to maximize it manually here to fit my my view, and in here I'm going to obey to the request, which is having one button and two grid views. The controls we are going to use is a button and two grid views. The button here is, so I'm going to bring it here. I'm going to maximize it a little bit. I'm going to change the text to something actually similar to the one available in the question. I'm going to say here populate grid, populate controls, a grid view, GV grid view. Okay, populate GV grid view shortcut. Okay, now I'm going to insert two grid views. So toolbox, data. Data grid view, here it is. So I'm going to bring the first, and then after I'm going to bring the second. Data grid view, here it is. I'm going to bring the second. So I'm going to maximize a little bit to fit the view. Okay. Okay, something like that. Great. So, what is the name here? Right click, properties, grid view, data grid view. Right click the second one, properties, data grid view 2. I'm going to change the names to something different. So, the ID here, I'm going to change it to something different of this grid view. Here it is, the name. I'm going to change it to, um, let's say data grid DV1 or DGV1, BGV1, okay. And here I'm going to change the name to DGV2. Just to demonstrate to you that we can actually go back to the question, yes, but just to demonstrate that we can modify and we can control. It's for your purpose only, and also for the guide, we are having different names here. Here it is, the name here it is. For the grid view 1 is DGV1, the grid view 2 is DGV2. So for the purpose of the practice, and also for you to know how to do. So right click on property on the control, properties, and then after you choose the property, the appropriate property for you. For our case now it's the name, and let's go on. So simply here immediately we are going to populate both of them, but I'm going to start with the second one here. As per the guide, I'm going to demonstrate it to you here. The guide is asking us to use the properties of the grid view to generate the fields we want. What does it mean? Let me test before I do anything. So here I'm going to save. I have the star here, so it's not saved. I'm going to save. Saved now, خلاص. I'm going to start this project. Test it means I'm going to test it. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Okay, we have the grid view views, both of them, they are empty. Populate grid view button. I click. So nothing happens, but everything is in place. Everything is in place. Great. So I'm going to close. I come back. Yes, here I came back. Good. What we are going to do, I'm going to populate this second first of all. I'm going to start with this second because it's the much more easier to understand for to explain it and to make it easier for you to understand. Also, we are going to use the properties of this grid view to populate, to generate the fields we want. Okay, before I do this, what are the data to populate here? And what is the data to populate in each of them? Okay, I said at the beginning, we're going to create two tables. So I'm going to create a database that have two tables. Let's say students, courses. Here I'm going to populate grid view 1 students, and here in grid view 2, I'm going to populate the courses. Let's do that. So on the root folder here, right click, add new item. Sorry, it's not new folder, it's new item. Come on. Yes. And in here, I'm going to choose service-based database. Yes, here it is, service-based database. If I can find without the service, if I can find the one without service, because the service data only give me a problematic view. Okay, for me it will give me an error later on, but even though for you it will not give you any error in your computer, it will not give you any error in your computer later on. So here I'm going to choose this service-based database. Service-based, the services, because remember that we are inside the campus and there are services controlled for security reasons. So we may have some struggle in between. I'll demonstrate to you, but even though we do the steps. So, okay, add. It will come here. Few seconds. Yes, here it appears. And when I go to the Server Explorer, I will find it. It will appear also database 1. Here it is. I open it. How many tables I have? Refresh. Nothing. I have no tables. I'm going to create the students, and I want to create the courses. Right click, add new table. Okay, starting with the first table, which is the students. I'm going to say the ID, yes. Okay, name, it's a Vacha. Okay, I'm going to say last name is a Vacha also. I'm going to say major. It's about Charles. Let's say semester, registered semester. I'm going to use the varchar to avoid the syntax. Great. I'm going to change the name before I do anything. I'm going to change the name here. See here, I search for this one. The name table here, create table. I'm going to change it to students. Students here. Here it is. We know this stuff. We did it actually in lab number 3, I believe. Students. And then after update, it will ask me to confirm. Yes, I'm going to update the database. It will do that. Yes, done. I close. I check my database now, refresh the tables. Here it is, the students. Check the columns. Here they are. Exactly what we just inserted right now. Great. Okay, I'm going to create the second table, which is the courses. Right click, add new table. Yeah, the same thing. I'm going to say ID course here, and then leave it. Okay, I'm going to say course title. I'm going to say title immediately, shortcut. It's varchar 50, it's okay. Department, varchar. Capacity, it's an int, let's say, or int, yeah, it's okay, it's an int. Capacity, how many students can receive. Capacity type, it's 1A. It's enough. I'm gonna courses, course title, department, course. I'm gonna say instructor also. Instructor. varchar 50. The name of the table is, I'm gonna show you. See what I'm highlighting? Exactly the table. I do not take off the curly braces or the square parentheses. So I'm gonna say here courses. Okay. Update. Confirmation. Say yes. Done. I close this entry. Check my, sorry. I check my tables hive here, fresh that. Yes, we have the 2 tables now. We have the courses and we have the students. Both of them, they are available for us. The first and the second. Great. So now let's populate them both with 1 or 2 records only for use, for our purposes only. Let's start with the students. Right click, show table data. Okay. I'm going to say ID number 1. Student, let's say last name, I'm going to say Oman. Major, I'm going to say IS. Semester, I'm going to say SP21. Great. Student number 2, I'm going to say Salim. Let's say Nizwa, Salim, or Salim, whatever. Anything, actually, I'm going to say IS also. Here, also SP, let's say SP20. It's enough. When I click next line, see the red dots here, the red circles here. When I click the next line, they get disappeared. The table has been registered, saved automatically without anything. I did not click save. There is no save here. You just click the next line, it gets saved automatically. I'm going to close only here. Close. Khalas, done. I go to the next table, courses, show table, or click show table data. The same way, I'm going to give the ID for the course. I'm going to give the course title, which is, let's say here, DWD, Database Dynamic Web Design. Department, I'm going to say IS. Capacity, let's say 200. Instructor, right. Good. Course number 2, okay, here, let's say cyber security. Okay, it's also the IS department. Capacity 200 students. Also, let's say, I'm going to say Ali. Any name, whatever. Next line has been saved. That's just the third course, whatever. It's just for, to make it different than the other table, populated with 3 records. I'm going to say here, give me name of course. Okay, e-business, e-business double S typo. Okay, here department. I'm going to say also IS. Capacity, let's say 200 also. Teacher, let's say Fatma, whatever, any cost. Next line, yes, it has been saved. Now I'm going to close. That's good. So I'm going to bring those two aside. I'm going to bring those those two grid views aside. Keep them here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to refer to my database, my students. I'm going to drag and drop this thing. It will not come. It's not like it's an empty place. I have an empty place. But if I drag and drop, it will not come because it's not like the web-based solutions. So we used to have a drag and drop when we create a website. But here in a project view, here there is no place to receive such an object. But I can generate a data source. We know what is the data source for binden, single binden and repeated value binden. Remember, chapter number 4. I'm going to generate a data source, which is made up of this database we have here, the database 1. Next. The database we have is the database 1. Yes. Next, confirm that. Yes, the name here, we can change the name, but leave it default name. Okay, and here we need the tables. The tables, we have both of them. Both, I need both. Yes, finish. Great. The data source here we have. Now, if I want to drag and drop, for example, the students table, I'm going to drag it here in an empty place. Here it comes. I'm going to save. I have something, I have modification, the start. So I'm going to save. I'm going to test. I put it here on top just for your preview only. Start. Yes, the two students. No. Can we insert a new one? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to insert here 3. I'm going to say Khadija. The last name I'm going to say Oman, whatever. Department major is an IS, information systems. Semester I'm going to say fall 2021. I'm going to save. It's been saved. See how now we have 3. Let me close to be sure that it has been saved or not. I'm not going to click save here. Immediately I'm going to check my table, the students, right click, show table data. Student number 3. It's not visible to me. It's not saved. Why? Because where it has been saved, it's not the table where it has been actually generated. When we generate here, it has been saved actually. For sure it has been saved. But the table utilized here, I'm going to run again. See, I'm going to run again. I will find it. Actually, it is running from the beginning, from scratch. Sorry. So I'm going to type here 3, let's say. I'm going to say any names. Khadija, the same, or let's say. Okay, let's say Nizwa. IS also. Paul 20. Okay. I'm going to save. Great. So I'm going to save. I'm going to close. Because we are using a SQL Server database, it would be actually difficult to find it here. We have to run the database and the SQL Server. But the database, where to find it? I click here on this source. Just to demonstrate you only. So on the bin debug, and here we'll have actually our database. If we reach to open this database inside the SQL Server, we'll be able to see the 3rd record. But here the data tables. What is the name of our project? What is the name of our project? See, data tables. Here we have an application. Name of data tables. I'm going to open it. How many records we have? 3. From where these 3? It is the one we saved here. And where it has been saved? In the database. Which database? This is the database. It's not this database. This is a database used in developing. We are generating. But here, khalas, the application is running. We are using the running application, and this is the running source. So we have the update. If I type something else, I'm going to say here, number 4. I'm going to say, let's say Ali. Let's say Muscat. Also, let's say security. I'm going to say SP 2017. Okay, I'm going to say 4 has been saved. I'm going to close. I'm going to open it again. We will find the 4. Close and open again. We'll find the 4. See what I'm going to do. Now I open again. There is the 4. Okay, leave it there. Leave it there. I'll leave this folder apart. I'm going to just re-debug again here. Just re-debug. Class, I have only 2 because we generated again. I'm going to close. I come back to the folder and I open this table again. These data tables again. Only 2. Only 2. Why? Because we regenerated again. We deleted the content of this database and we inserted what we have here in our project newly. So we continue now. I heard the beep of this Google Meet. Noel is just joining now. Great, we continue. I come back to my guide. Link what is required. Yes, exactly. So here we are able to link and display. See, we created a data source. From where we get this data source, it is available here. If it's not visible here, you'll find it in the view menu. You search it here, data source. You search it here, find it. Data source, data source, data source. Otherwise, toolbox, whatever. Toolbar, sorry. Let me search it. I have to find it. Otherwise, yeah, then it has to be here. Data source. It will appear with a database, but even though I actually I have to open and close it as many as how I need actually. It is in our hands only. It has to be here. If it's closed from here, it has to be here in the view menu, no more or less. I'm going to stop here. This grid view, yes, I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to keep it there for now. I'm going to bring this one to the front. I'm going to bring this one to the front. So I'm going to make this one be dominant. So, and we'll answer the thing actually as per our question. What we're going to do here, this one, we will populate it using the script. Once we click this, I'm going to run again. Yes, here. Once I click the populate here, this one has to be populated with the same data like here, the same data. So I click populate. It has to populate me what we have in our database table, which is the students. And this one, what we have for the courses. Let's do that. Let's do that. So let me close. And let's do the population. Double click on this button here, the event handler. The event handler is this button. Double click, and here we are. I said double click exactly. Why? Because we have to refer to the event handler, which is the button. Here in between, we are going to do all the necessary. First of all, we will create a connection string. So as per the guide we have, we have the solution. Everything is here. Just I'm going to explain what we have to do. No more, no less. So. So I'm going to create a connection string. So here, I'm going to say it's a string, yes. And the string, I'm going to give it the name connection, let's say. Okay. It would be string, yes, in between 2 double quotations. And the content underlined with green means it's not used. So in between here, the path to the database, the data source. From where to get it? What is our database? So the database is here. Server Explorer. This is our database. Right click, properties. It is in green, it is connected. When I chosen properties, we get this window, the properties of the database. Okay, connection string, here it is. I'm going to copy this string here. Double click, right click, copy. Come back here, in between the quotations, right click, paste. Done, we get it. So I have the connection string, but I have it with errors. What errors? The underline with red. The first thing, the quotation here, I'm going to delete. And the same quotation, I have it here after the database name here, I'm going to delete the quotation only. Then still we have errors. What errors? The backslash. So I'm going to make 2 double backslashes here. I'm going to add another one. I'm going to add another one here. Why? Because it's an escaping character. This is a programming secret. So the backslash is not allowed in the code, but you can use it as a string. How? By adding another backslash, which is the escaping character. The backslash. Class done. That's it. Now I have everything is run or is saved. Sorry, it is safe and without errors. I'm going to save only. Saved. There is no error. If there is an error, it would be actually underlined with red or blue. Green means it's not used. There is no error here. There is no error here. I'm gonna open this connection, and then after I'm gonna create an adapter, but we are going to pass a command to it. So I'm gonna make Google tell connection open. I'm gonna open it. Actually, we know that we have to open the connection every time we use it. No. So here I'm not able to see the open. There is no open. Why? Because we have to specify that we are using SQL connectivity. So how to? And the libraries here on top, we have to add the SQL Client Library. So using system data what? SQL Client, SQL Client. Here it is. Semicolon to terminate the statement. Save. Come back here. Say dot. It's not visible. It's not. I'm not able to see the connections. The open here. I'll see the error. What is it? String does not contain a definition for open. Did I miss something? Yes, absolutely, because we do not have to open a string. Absolutely, the message is clear. String does not have to be opened here. So I said before with that we create a SQL adapter. I forgot to do that. SQL adapter. SQL adapter. Again, this SQL adapter is not shown to us. Did I type the thing actually here? It is the SQL client here. I'm going to save to be sure. No, it's not saved. Yeah, I saved. No. Actually, it was saved from the beginning, but because of the modification, no more or less SQL adapter. SQL adapter. SQL data adapter is not SQL adapter. Yes, great. I'm going to say SA equals new SQL data adapter. That's the one. And between here, I'm going to specify the string we need, which is to select everything from the let's say the students table. So I'm going to say select from, say the same name here, same spelling, yes, here, students. But based on which connection? The connection we have here. I'm going to use now here outside. See, outside of the quotation comma. Then after paste the name of the connection. Terminate my statement with a semicolon. Okay. Now I'm going to start this SA. SA dot not SA dot open. Your connection. Yeah, we have to generate the connection first of all. Okay, so SQL connection. I'm going to say SQL con equals new SQL connection. SQL connection. Yes, in between here, the parameter is this connection. Wait, here semicolon. Now I'm going to start this SQL con. Here it is, the same one. It is the same one. I'm going to start it, so I'm going to open it. Yes, here it is. It comes verified, so it's a function. So some parentheses. Yes, that's great. So here, great. There is no error. Yeah, great. Yes. So here we open the connectivity. We generated a table adapter. Right after, immediately we are going to generate a table of data table of data to populate it with what we are going to extract here. So data table, I'm going to say dt equals new data table, and the data table actually would be actually filling from this SA. Yes, here. Just let me fill it differently. Let me fill it differently here. Yeah, this is the data table. The data table actually would be filled. Yes, fill here the SA. Stop here. What we are going to do is to fill this data table with the content of this or the vice versa. So the SA. I'm going to fill the SA. The SQL adapter. I'm going to fill it with a data table, content of data table. So here I have to. I'm choosing from the list only. Yes, here it is. So the data table. Great. خلاص. I saved my modifications. Let me check what is missing after this process here. Yeah, I mean just what we did now. I'm gonna just display that in the. I'm gonna fill the grid view. I'm gonna fill this grid view here, the number one properties, DGV1. So DGV1 dot data source. Data source, here it is, equal 80. Full stop. خلاص, no error. Let me build solution. One succeeded. Perfect. Let me save and let me debug. No, stop debugging. There is no debug. So I'm going to start debugging immediately. Okay. Here I have to click the button. Yeah, here we will have the trouble of the service. I told you at the beginning that we will have a problem with the service. For you, you will not have any error. You will not have any error. You'll have the data like here, but you'll find it here. It will get displayed to you here. That's great. So yeah, exactly. We have problem in the server not found. So server not found. We have to. If you get the same message, you'll not get it for sure. But for us here, inside the campus, we are having trouble in the services. So from the start menu, services, here it is. Okay. From the services, I search for the SQL Server services, SQL S, SQL. Yes, here they are. I have to check all of them. The SQL Server is running, so no problem. The SQL agent still no. Here it is. Still, it's the SQL agent. Yeah. Agent of this SQL Server stopped. See, stopped, and this is the error. I cannot start it. The service is not. It has to be run with an administrator. I'm not an administrator, so in your computer you not find an issue. But for you, if you click it and you find the start, you start it. You click the start. That's it. What would happen? You'll get, once you click the button, it will display to you the data like this one. It will display them to you here. That's it. Great. Let me stop the debugging. Stop the debug. Yes, great. Let's continue. Great. What to continue here? Now, the first grid view, this grid view here. Let me show them differently. Yeah, here. Okay. Okay. The grid view 1 here, it has what we have clicked, what we have populated from when we click this button. The same way, at the same time, what we are going to display here in this grid view is the same source, but only we need the name and the semester. For example, the students, we have, for example, the name, and we need the semester, name and semester. Which semester? Only we need those two, or name, major, and semester. We do not need the ID, we do not need the last name. We need only the name, major, semester. How many fields? 3. Here we have all. When we run here, we have an all. Here, see, we have the ID, we have the name, we have the last name, we have the major, we have the semester. Okay, all of them we have. And the grid view here, we will display only the name and major and semester. That's it. Three fields. Let's do that. To do so, we have to design that this form 2, this grid view will have those fields only here. See here. How to do so? I come back here. On this grid view, right click properties. There is no need for the properties, but just to highlight it. To get this arrow, see this arrow here. I'm going to click it, this arrow, and here edit columns. Edit columns. I click. I'm going to add first column, which is, I'm going to say the name. This is the column that would have this column would have the same field as yes, here the database. Let me cancel. The same name, major, semester. The same name here, the same word, and the same word, and the same word. Where? Here, starting with the name. Edit columns. Add. Here, for the name, I type the same word, name. Here, I give it a header. A header. The field would be having a header on top. So I'm going to say name and capital, for example, or STD name. STD name, for example. Add. The second field is the major, the same spelling. Here I'm going to say STD major. As for an example. Add. The third field, semester, semester, yes. Semester, yes. I'm going to say registration semester. Registration semester. Great. Add, close. We have 3 fields now. 1, 2, 3. Let's close. Let's confirm. Here they are. Here they are. Here they are. We have the 3. Very simple here. Just to make this grid, this form here, display the same what we need. Just on the same button here, we add a link. What is the name of this grid view here? DGV2. Right click, properties, DGV2. So come back here, another line here. My line here. We need the DGV. Let's say here DGV. Come on, DGV2. But data source equal DP, the same data table. Data source, the same data source, but for the grid view 2 is the same. With what same? It's the same data table, just populated. Save, and let's say, خلاص, now we get the same issue because this the service, no, but everything is running. We have no error. How I knew that we have no error? How I knew? It has to work in your computer. Let me stop the debugging, because when I build, I have no issues. And I know my script, actually. I know what I have. I know my computer. I know the computer I use. So I know the service I have. And as I shown you, it is stopped in my computer. In your computer, it will not be stopped. And if it's stopped, you'll be able to run it. So I'm going to stop here and give you the recording, and I'll take the attendance again. And unless you have any questions, you can ask.